Hey there everyone, Luke here, and yeah, no beating around the bush this week with the Mission Yozakura review because we've got a lot to talk about here, so yeah, we're just going to dive right into it. Okay, so this will be chapter 235, titled Rio Scoop. Now, I hope Ryo's going to get like a little bit of a caveat on me of like, how my good looks are. And I'm just kidding. So yeah, Ryo gets the upper hand in this chapter, so it's very much his chapter, his chance to shine in this. But before we get into this chapter, we start off with a colour page, and it's probably one of the best colour pages that Gondari Sensei has really done, showing Tayo in his true spring blooming form, as you just have like the white flames from his true spring bloom just emanating off him, while his whole outfit is pale white and his skin like becomes a little bit more whiter as a result. So it's pretty cool colour page there. So anyway, we start from pretty much the ending of the last chapter. We had Hulang's fight with Kengo concluding, and we have Shinzo being like, okay, thanks Kengo, I know you've got your own strength, you've got a struggle, but now it's time for me to give it all my all by taking on Kazu and Ryo here, as we have him looking around and examining the situation that he has going on about him. So it's like, okay, I can't let the flames burn, and don't let your flames burn too far. It's dangerous, but Shinzo is looking around and being like, those look like flames, but they aren't hot in any way, and they don't burn things either. So that kind of reminded me, that was pretty funny, that line that Shinzo had. It was very reminiscent of the first time, because obviously me and Tyler on Control Chaos were going through the Ben 10 franchise. When Ben 10 turned into Heat Blast for the first time, he was kind of like, oh my god, I'm on fire, this is crazy, I'm on fire, and these flames aren't hurting me in the slightest. So I found that like really reminiscent of that reaction he had to when he first transformed into Heat Blast for the first time. But it's showing that, okay, these flames around him, so they're not actually burning or doing any damage, but damage that flames you would normally suspect them to do, so burning and scorching people. But no, these flames are actually causing the landscape around them to crumble. And obviously, one of the things that Shinzo had with him, it's gone. His Ukon is gone in an instant, and it got infected by this stuff. It's simple. Touch it and you crumble. That's all. So it's kind of like a certain ability from a certain villain and certain main villain from a certain series that is ending in a couple of weeks. It's basically Shigaraki's ability. It's Shigaraki's quirk. They even give it the exact same name here. Now, with this was kind of fascinating that when I first read this, I was like, wait, is this meant to be like an actual tribute to my hero, or Kazu basically has the same ability that Shigaraki has, the decay ability. I'm guessing because, I mean, it's too much of a coincidence. Like, the timing just adds up way too perfectly here. So yeah. This is the general concept of what Kazu's ability are. It's decay. It's basically works and operates in a similar way to Shigaraki's quirk does, which, by the way, Stoll very much would like to do a retrospective with the Control Chaos group on My Hero Academia, because I feel like we would have a fair bit to say and a few things about the final arc itself. So as Shinzo is trying to get around this ability, he says, oh, no matter what you do to me, Kazu, no matter how much things come in contact with me, or what the object is, I don't know what this is all about, but I'm going to destroy it anyway. And this is where Ryo gets like gets us up to speed on things. So as he's observing everything, can just be like, Destruction, Decay. Those are quite similar similar bloomings you have there, almost as if they're identical in a way. And even Carso agrees with that. Like, yeah, we have pretty similar abilities here, but he goes on to clarify. Actually, this is technically not a blooming that we have here. Like, what me and my siblings have are not bloomings per se in the traditional sense. So what they're so. This I do actually like, because it was always curious of me, like, could people like artificially get the bloomings in the series? That was one of the big questions that I had for a really long time. Like, couldn't people like just extract the I mean, we saw that it could technically be done with Tampopo, but like awaken different abilities. That's what I was wondering. Like, could like taking samples of the Yozakuras awaken other abilities to people, and we but calling it something completely different from a blooming? And we get the answer here. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. So, basically, what happened here was like, Asa implemented the powers into them so that they could be used as a weapon, and they're calling them their blights. So quite interesting name, like blights, blooming, where blooming as well. So that's kind of really interesting what is happening there. But we have Kazu who takes his flaming sword, basically uses it as like a Sonpok toe. So he adds it out like this, and you think that he's gonna drop it, it's gonna like disappear or something, kind of like Byakuya's Sonpok toe, Senbon Sakura. But no, he just holds swords like that, and it's like, awaken my blight. So so basically doing a Sonpok summoning technique, as he goes on and says, and I call down a season of depth that withers all. Kosha told me blighted winter. I see just these geysers of just see these pillar guys just erupt all around everyone, and Shin's just there like, what is going on? What is going on here? As Kazu reiterates, and you see Kazu's hair colour change from the activation of the blight, so it changes from white to black. So kind of like the opposite of what happens with the True Spring Blue. So that the True Spring Blue changes the whole body to white. I guess the blight changes anything that was white to black. So kind of like an opposite, like, again, kind of like a Bleach reference right there. So we get like a few like little references to Bleach in this chapter, right down to Asa's plan, to Kazu using his flaming sword as a Sonpok toe, and right down to the black and white being contrasting colours here. Now, the thing that I want to know is, like, on the Mission Yozakura wiki, they're still calling the flaming sword his blooming, and it's very much established here that that's not the case. He has something similar to blooming, but it's portrayed in a completely different way. So they really need to update that and change that on Kazu's wiki page. So Kazu goes on to say, like, it doesn't matter in any way, like, whether you're dead or alive. All we need from you is just to recover a scrap of each of you, and in that way Asa can gain control of you, because that's the purpose we were created for. I assume like all Kazu would need to do is just take like a fingernail or just a finger of Shinzo, and that's all it would take, because he does say it doesn't matter whether you're dead or alive, all we need is just that one little sample. And you see like the effects of Kazu's blight abilities just affecting everyone around him. As we cut down to Keigo, we cut down to Futaba, and also Shion and Nano. Strangely enough, we don't cut to Kiricho and Kai, so that might be it. Might be something we're just saving for the big final battle, because I feel like Kiricho and Kai's is going to be like probably one of the longer ones and one of the more emotional ones. But yeah, we see just like a rumbling effect from the area where Musume is with the twins. It's just there like, oh my god, they're coming now. Everyone better be prepared. Because they're getting close here, and we have Ryu going on saying, the big push to harvest the Yozakura family. Everyone splits up acting on their own, and Asa's Asa's occupied with his own battle. Right now is where he's paying the least amount of attention. So this gives me a perfect opportunity to do this, as he ends up shooting Kazu in the chest area with one of the bullets that was used specifically created by Momo for this very purpose, as Ryu will go on to explain in a minute. Now, one thing I've actually just gone and looked back in between the cuts is that Kazu's eye, if you look on page 5 down at the bottom when he's saying "Dead or alive, it doesn't matter," you actually see his eye, and it looks very similar to what Cosmos' eye looks. So maybe like with Kazu, instead of having like a traditional blooming, Cosmos, like the prophecy lady, like the branch member of the Yozakura family, doesn't have a blooming per se, but has like a blight ability. That's probably what it is, because the symbols are very similar to what Kazu is exhibiting here. But yeah, so going back to Ryo shooting Kazu with one of the bullets, what I've loved most about this is that this, it'll be explained in a minute, but this is like another kind of weakness of Asa, which seems to be a fix that, not necessarily a fix, but more like the author had to have been a fan of Bleach. Like Gondaria Sensei had to have been a fan of Bleach, because of the fact that we're getting quite a few like little nods or little Easter eggs to Bleach in this chapter, not just with Kazu and the Sonpot and the famous sword very much resembling a Sonpot Toe's summoning mechanic, but also the fact what happens with Asa in a bit, which we'll explain. But also, like with these bullets right here, like if you remember the finale of Bleach when we had that silver Hawaii that took away all of Yuha's abilities, that was only explained in like the last like 10 chapters of the Bleach manga. Whereas with the bullets have been around since Asa has been introduced since chapter 161, chapter 235 now. So it's not been a Deus Ex Machina. These bullets haven't come out of nowhere. They've been constantly being referenced all the time and being like, okay, this is something that's key to Asa, key to this guy Asa, and maybe a key thing that will become a key plot point later on. So I am happy that the author is taking the time to explain that, okay, these bullets, keep them back in mind because they're going to be becoming important later on. So yeah, Ryo's been waiting for this moment. Basically, he's been a triple agent. Ryo, like, oh, we thought he was going to be a double agent waiting for Asa, but nope, he's still on the Yozakura side here. So, being the triple agent that he is, and he's been waiting for this moment. And this moment, like, just shocks, like, Shinzo and Kazu, because Kazu was just like, oh my god, I was not expecting this. And Shinzo was like, Ryo, what the hell? As we see Kazu's strength fading because of the bullet that Ryo shot him with, and Shinzo's just like, Ryo, what's going on here? And he's just like, okay, Shinzo, we haven't much time, so I'll be brief here. This is my big scoop that I dug up. Asa built these children. So basically reiterating like what we already knew, that Asa built these children using Tsubumi and using Ryo, basically using aspects of them to meld them together. And at first he thought that they would just be another batch of underlings, but it turns out that they have a very different purpose. As we come into a flashback where we see Hulang, Dr. Mozu, Ryo and Asa as they're discussing like the birth of all of Asa's children, and they go, oh, he calls them his life. Isn't that a funny turn of phrase? Don't you think, Ryo? And Ryo says like, under construction of observation, we couldn't talk freely, but Hulang still managed to give me a hint. So basically, Hulang was saying like, okay, this is a hint for you. Asa is watching, so we can't discuss this out openly. So we're gonna have to be like really sneaky to get around it, because Asa is like Makima, always watching. As they go on to say, there are upwards of 100 different types of blooming, and later, as Asa was explaining these things to you, I noticed what I think could be the answer. Division, which is a blooming that lets one split their soul. So it's heavily implying, like they mention in a moment, that Tsubumi was the very first Yozakura that could use that blooming of division, but it seems to implying that Asa can have this blooming as well, can have this blooming ability. So it's a blooming that lets one split their soul. Who does that remind me of? Oh yeah, it reminds me of that certain film from that certain series about a magical schoolboy for wizards. You know the what. Okay, all jokes aside, Asa is doing good. It's basically Voldemort. It's basically Voldemort. Like the division blooming is basically a Horcrux. That's what it is. So they go on, and I love this line from Rio because. It's almost like the authors are like, "Oh, this is just like Voldemort from Harry." No, it's not. It's not like Voldemort from Harry Potter because Shinzo's just going like, "Wait, his what? A blooming that lets one split their souls," and yeah, seems to be implying that Asa has this ability because Ryu's just not Ryu, Shin's just like his what, and Ryo's just like, oh no, not literally, of course. It's not anything so magical. So yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing here, like basically making us to be basically a combination between Voldemort and you are from Bleach. So he goes on to explain the roots of the Yozakura power is in their heart. Slice off slivers of it and implant them in another, and then contact them to yourself with strands of simony, which can stretch across any distance. Then, as long as even one of those hearts still beating, you can't ever truly die. You're effectively immortal. So yeah, basically a Horcrux. How a Horcrux works in the Harry Potter universe. So so the way the Horcruxes work in the Harry Potter universe, from what I can remember, is that you take you kill someone, and then you use that killing to split their soul, split your soul, put a portion of your soul in an object, and then you can basically live forever as long as that object is connected to you, and as long as it's not been damaged in any way, you are essentially immortal. That's basically how the Horcrux works. It's very similar to here. So as long as one of those hearts is still beating, so as long as one of the hearts of the children is still beating, you are essentially immortal. That's what they're saying. What Asa is here. So Asa split off his soul, and used strands of the heart and sliced them off of the head of the Yozakura. Heads of the Yozakura family, and granted it to his children. So as long as one of the all four is still beating, the heart's still beating, Asa is essentially immortal. And according to the records that Ryu could find, only the very first Yozakura Tsubumi could use that blooming. So I guess the head could initially do it at first, but something changed later on. Because it was established that the heads of the Yozakura do not have any special abilities, and they pass it on to their children. So I guess Tsubumi was like the one exception to that rule. So as Ryo is relaying all of this to Shinzo, Kazu says, "Oh, what are you talking about? Dad's heart in my chest? This is not nonsense here." And Ryo's just like, He must have not told you. He only sees you as a vessel to serve himself. What a truly ugly man. And yeah, like I said, Asa has no empathy for his kids. To him, they're just a means to an end to achieve immortality, to get the Yozakuras under his control and spread the Yozakura lineage out to the world. But also by spreading it out to the world, he has complete dominance over everyone there, because everyone's going to be connected to him and keeping him immortal, and then he's going to be able to control him like a puppet master. That's what I get from his ultimate plan. That he wants to distribute the Yozakura's abilities out to everyone, so that everyone can have the Yozakura abilities. But also, not only does that keep him alive and keep him immortal, but also gives him complete dominance over the world and over the spy units as well. Ryu goes on and says, "Did you know that Momo created a certain talented gunsmith?" Obviously referring to Ryu's old flame and Kataria, basically Ryu's foster daughter and Shinzo's former fiance, her real father, was contacted by Momo and asked to make a bullet out of its own flesh infused with the essence of Tsubumi herself. That bullet can cancel any Yozakura power. So basically using Asa's own abilities against him. Like his own abilities, his own desires, and his own family against him in like the most like the most awesome way, like, okay, we just need silver, we just need to create silver bullets for this guy, and then that can cancel out any of his powers. So again, like the still silver from Bleach, but obviously done in a much more gradual and gradual way, and not seeming like a Deus Ex Machina, because like I said, the bullets have been around since chapter 160 when Asa was first introduced and Kiricho had the bullet. It was like stunning, and like thinking like, this was left by Dad. I wonder what it's for. So yeah, like I said, congratulations Goddaria Sensei for taking what you saw in Bleach and being like, okay, this is really cool, but I want to do it my own way. I want to give it like much more of a actual satisfying conclusion here, which I feel like he's actually done in spades. So yeah, that's basically what the bullets can do. You shoot as with it, can take away any of the Yozakura powers, and if it should pierce Asa's heart, then with his greedy, spiteful desires to cling to life, maybe that will be the thing that can actually defeat him. But before Ryu can even say anything else, we see this giant eyeball appear in Kazu's chest. Okay, the last part of the message is we'll hear the first echoes of his last cry before the eyeball appears, and it's revealed to be Asa who's listening in. So it's kind of like he's got an eye here, and it's like there, just excellent deduce, Ryu. If that had been a little to the side, I might have been in a bit of trouble. Before Kaz just like, Dad, what is going on here? Why are you controlling me here? And Asa's like, oh, don't worry, Kazu, I'm just borrowing your body for a moment. As we see Asa just really take over Kazu's body, like his eye gets like really gazed and scorched. As he goes on and says, have you discarded your feelings for take me then? Yeah, take me being Katana's real father, who is Ryu's foster daughter. As Ryu goes on and says, oh goodness, you foolish, I still loved him very much. That's exactly why I never tarnished that love with someone as resurrection. So basically saying, screw you, Asa. I love Takumi, but I know he's not coming back, and using resurrection to bring him back, that would just tarnish the love that I have for him, and the love that I can pass on by protecting his daughter for him, by basically being the father for her while her real father is no longer part of this world. And even mentions Ryu, Momo, and their children. They're all precious to me, so I'm not going to let you take them away. As we see Ryu just firing more bullets at Kazu in an effort to like get rid of Asa, but Kazu, just being a little bit too fast for him, uses his flame sword to just slice at Ryu, doing extensive damage to him. So Asa basically doing that, controlling Kazu's body to slice at Ryu and doing extensive damage to him, and saying, allow me to rectify your misconception. I am not taking anything. I want to give to you. I want to give the blessing that is yours to everyone in the world. And like I said, that is really scary, because yeah, you may get incredible powers and everything. It'll basically be like the My Hero world, like, oh, everyone gets a quirk, everyone, majority of the world gets a quirk, but at the same time, it'll be like run in a totalitarian rule. It'll be kind of like if the world of My Hero Academia met the world of One Piece, with like the world government and like Eam at the top of the world government just being like, I dominate everyone, I see all, I control the entire world here, I'm essentially god of this world. Basically us having the ultimate complex here of just being like, oh, okay, so I want to spread everything out, but at the same time I'll be immortal and I'll have complete dominance over everyone, because all the bloomings and all the blights and basically all the abilities, they'll all come back to me eventually, and I'll have and they'll all be connected to me, so everyone will be my children, everyone will be worshipping me, and you'll come to see one day. Until then, you best sleep, Ryu. As Shinzo just gets him away from the battle, and Ryu's just like, oh well, Shin, what did you think of my scoop? with that first chink, surely you'll find a crack and expose the truth. As the editor-in-chief of Spider, I think that's a fitting last story. I have nothing to say to Katana. I've already expressed my love to her plenty. I'm sure she understood. Anyway, as Shinzo's just like, no, you are not dying here. I am going to rescue you. As you see him using his equipment to patch up Rio as best he can here, and just get him like, okay, you are not going to die here. You are going to go back and apologize to Katana in person. Tell her you tried to leave her behind in your own words, but you actually failed because I'm going to rescue you. And Shinzo at this point just stands up and is just like, not even looking at Asa at this point, who's still in control of Kazu's body, as Asa's just like, oh, the Yozakura family is 10th generation second son, Shinzo Yozakura. You may excel at destruction, but now you have neither your Yokon nor Momo's bullets. I don't recommend resistance. As Shinzo's just like, Asa, I have a mountain of things I want to say to you, but I get nervous easily, and I don't have Shion's or Keigo's gift's word. So a long time ago, I'd settled on just one thing I'd say, as we see him close his eyes, start to concentrate, and everyone is just feeling like this immense aura of just being like, oh, it's happening. It is coming. We know what's coming. You know what's coming. Like, so we've just got to prepare ourselves for whatever's on the other side. I see Shinzo's eyes just open up. It's blooming as activated, but it's not just his regular blooming. We see a giant lightning storm. It's a giant lightning storm, giant flame storm crash down on him. And the thing that he wanted to say to us was, stay away from my family forever. As we see him activating his true spring blooming, and that's where the chapter ends. So Shinzo's true spring blooming takes the form of like a deity. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, if I can get up Discord, it was the Indian deity Shiva. But I'm gonna just quickly check up on it, because thanks to Pyjams, because I know Pyjams mentioned it. So we are going to bring it up right now. Yeah, here we go. So this is what Pyjam said in Discord, in the Mission Yozakura Discord page on Control Chaos. Shinzo having his final form being Shiva makes so much sense. It looks so cool. But also he mentions that now the sad thing is that they'll have to try and kill all of us as kids, but they're not inherited evil. So we wonder if that's actually going to be worked around. And I agree. I agree with that point, Pyjams, because, yeah, like we said, yeah, in order to get rid of Asa, you have to get rid of the kids, because if one of the kids is still alive, Asa is essentially immortal. So, yeah, Shinzo basically taking the form of Shiva, really cool for him. And, yeah, we have no idea what the true Spring Brew is going to be like, because it's meant to be, like, sort of the opposite of your radio, so, like, destruction, I guess, reconstruction. That would be the best way. So like, he destroys things and then reconstructs it in his own way. So I guess it would be kind of like Benihimi's Bonkai in Bleach, where it had the ability to reconstruct anything it touches. So while Shinzo destroys stuff with his the destruction blooming, maybe his true spring brew is reconstruction, so he can reconstruct it into anything he sees fit, into any form he fancies taking on, which would be incredibly helpful in this battle. Now, in terms of the battle starting up like this, I liked it. I wasn't expecting Ryu to be at like turn triple agent. I thought we were going to have like a really long drawn out fight, but I'm glad with the way they went. And like I said, glad that we're getting like more of these weaknesses of Asa, because like I said, one of the things that I've loved most about Asa is that, yeah, OP, scary, but not invincible. He has clear weaknesses and they can be exploited, and they're going to be exploited. So they have a shot. It's not going to be easy to take down Asa, but they still have a chance of victory. And yeah, that's all I had to say on the chapter. So how this fight is going to go, what Shinzo's true spring booming is going to be, I have no idea. Resurrection, reconstruction, or resurrection is on my radar, but we'll just have to wait until next week to see. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.